Welcome to Retro Brothers.
Are you laughing because it's been a long time?
It's been a very long time.
Your name's Dave.
My name's Dave and your name is?
Andy.
If you forgot our names by now. It's been such a long time, and actually we sat by side. It's a new format. We didn't find the Zoom stuff really. It's not personable.
It just reminded me like of work.
Yeah, does it actually?
So we ended up talking about Microsoft and stuff really that we didn't really want to talk about.
It just feels like work, and it's not. You can't. I don't think you can have as much banter other than because we do this often. We sit next to each other, have a coffee, and we talk about stuff, and we spend hours just talking about random things. And this is what it's all about. Two retro brothers. It's not just the tech. We are retro as well. We like to talk about new stuff. We are old. So we're going to do a new format. We'd love people who had subscribed all those many years ago to give it a go, watch it through, and maybe just decide whether this is a better format as a podcast. I think it will. We've got some flashy microphones, got a bit of new tech. We've got tablets like we're newsreaders, which is a bit weird, but we'll see how it goes.
I feel like we need a desk in front of us. A news desk.
We do need a desk. Yeah. So this is it. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to jump straight on to the bit about what's happened to us and stuff. I think, and just go through life. It's life. I'll be honest with you. When you're doing YouTube, you've got to commit to it, and you've got to release stuff on a regular basis, haven't you? Even if it's a monthly, yearly, you've got to do it. Unfortunately, life got in the way, and do you know what? It didn't work. We didn't think that doing it over Zoom or whatever we were using worked, and you had technical issues, stuff like that. We could have one camera, two cameras, three cameras, whatever we decide to do in end, and be more personable. This is a podcast. This is what you get from sitting with the person you've known for years and years since birth and just having a bit of banter about technology, new and old. Some good stuff here. So we've got a nice backdrop. We may change where we are. We might have a different location. We might be somewhere soon on a remote location.
Yeah, we're going to do some remote because in the years that we have, because it is years, isn't it?
It's probably
years. 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
So the time that we've been away, we have actually visited retro shows. We've been to the Amiga show, which I will get out. Actually, we got some books signed by the ex-Commodore MD, which is a good read. I've started reading mine, actually.
I've not read mine yet.
Which we do want to get into, retro, why we buy it and why people don't have time to do anything with it. So we visited that show, the Amiga show. We also went to Spectrum one the Crash one the year before. There's another one coming up. We're also doing something else coming up. Sort of travelling the UK, looking at what sites are set up, what museums are in areas. And we're going to visit them. Some of them may be live feeds. Some of them may be where we sit down with the owners and try and interview them. So we're trying to do different things as well. But this is everything that we like to do.
Yeah.
Interesting. What we don't want to do is force, which is what we did last time. You know, what news do we want this week? Well,
some of it was forced, and we found that certainly like things like the Microsoft one.
Yeah.
We actually got if we'd have been monetized, which we're far from it. Please like and subscribe because we wanted this channel to work. But if we'd have been monetized, we would have been demonetized. Our subtle way of having a go at Windows 11 didn't work well. I don't know who did a strike on our video and why copyrighted was such a thing for that particular show and video that we looked at. Who knows? It got struck. We posted it how many times? Two, 3 times.
Yeah, we poked fun where probably it took offence anyway, is all we should say.
So we may do that. We've got a screen over there, so we might do the occasional reaction video, but we'll make it so that it's just not us staring at the screen. We'll make sure that it's useful and it's part of the course. There were a few forced videos, I think, and what we do best is have banter over technology and disagree, agree, and all that lot.
And we actually said we'd do things we haven't done, like build an 8-bit game.
Yeah, we never did that.
We never even started it.
We're back and we're committed.
To what we don't know. But
to what we don't know. No, we are going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast about technology. That's all we know. That's all you want to know.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of retro stuff.
Yeah.
We will talk about.
In fact, you tell us. Put in the comments on what you'd like us to do as well as we build this show up. As we sort of look at, maybe if we build a game, we get people's inputs, and instead of doing two, we do the one.
Yeah.
We get collaboration from people outside, and we build something together.
GitHub. GitHub. Sorry.
Yeah.
Could put it on GitHub
and do something like
some
that.
Collaboration. Yeah. So it's a good idea. There's things like that, and we need to do more videos because we are going to get out and about. And if we're walking up with Retro Brothers t-shirts and they're going, "Who are you?" We haven't done a video for about 20 odd years, We've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's getting together, and it's.
I've heard though, if we went to Ukraine and Russia, we'd actually be known. But having said that,
well, let's not mix those two up at the moment because we might get banned for that as well. we mentioned those two words.
We can't go there at the moment.
But it's true. We have had a lot of people, and thank you all for watching.
Greece as well.
Greece,
Greece, Ukraine.
We've had a lot
Russia,
of Eastern European, Russian, and do you know what? We don't care where you're from. It's just nice. It's nice to see that people want to watch our videos, and hopefully this will be more personable instead of just being a little bit more
corporate.
Stiff
and
corporate,
we don't want to be corporate
over a Zoom call or anything else. So with that, I think that's where we're going to go. We haven't quite decided whether it's going to be weekly, 2 a month, 1 a month, whatever. We're just got to just see how we go. We're going to get a few out there. We're going to talk. We've got lots to talk about, as you can see. Andy's collection is growing faster than mine. So, with that being said, let's pick up a bit of a subject that's floating around. Google, surprise, surprise, is a monopoly.
Who'd have known?
Who'd have known? So yeah, this is all about. Google become a little bit too big for his britches, and antitrust move, which I don't think we've had antitrust since the early noughties. I think that's the last one. I think it was Microsoft, I believe, back in '99.
About Microsoft, yeah, I think.
So around about '99, wasn't it?
It could be, yeah. It could have been Microsoft. I'm sure I've got a feeling
there might have been a few, but not quite to this scale. No. So antitrust enforcers soliciting input from outside companies. The judge ruled Alphabet unit monopolised online search and ads. I mean, go figure. We knew this for years. Why the government are doing this now? I mean, it's beyond me. I mean, it's I don't know why this hasn't been picked up a long time ago. Really, that they've had like such a control, a stronghold on everything. I mean, let's look at what we're looking at now. Search engine, people say Google it, and I know other people use like DuckDuckGo and stuff. And you've got Chrome, which is the biggest browser, which is crushing all the others. There's all sorts. There's Gmail. I mean, how many people use Gmail? And you're not paying for a lot of these services, but you're paying. You are the payment. You are the product, because they're glean all the information off you, and they're not allowing other companies to really thrive in this environment. Do we need more search engines?
I don't know, because Google does infuriate me, but I just keep using it, and everyone does, don't they?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends. But I mean, obviously, Microsoft's search engine. It's obviously they're using it for other things now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Data mining more, but obviously, which is what Google do. But it's not a search engine. It's obviously ChatGPT and the likes. So in their browsers. So I don't know. It's Chrome's here to stay, into. And it's got
it is, and you can get Chromium, which is their ungoogled version. Yeah. I don't know how good that is. Which Edge is now using the Chromium engine. So you got poor old Firefox, which we will go on to, where they were given a lot of money from Google, which, for obvious reasons, use our search engine, make sure our products are at the top of the list. you almost want somebody to come along and find another way for Mozilla Firefox to strive. I mean, I've used it. I'll always continue to use it because I just don't like the way the others work. There are others out there that pretend to be more like Opera.
Still
but
going.
It's from what I hear, there's not some good things about Opera. Would you trust their VPN technology?
Yeah.
Are they as bad as Google, or if not worse, by pretending that they've got a VPN that's secure? But are they leaching the information? We don't know that. I mean, this is just hearsay.
I mean, is it good that YouTube in part of Google? Yeah, because that's probably a thing. Should that be separate anyway?
I think it's time for it to separate. It's such a big monopoly. It's a monolithic company.
Yeah.
But there's still, let's face it, when BT was stripped down into different companies, that was seen as a monopoly in Britain years ago. There's still BT.
Yeah.
So Google's still going to be Google. You're going to have maybe sort of YouTube, where they will buy or sell services to Google or Alphabet, or their agency, their ad agency side, because obviously they're earning revenue off the ads. You're going to have the search engine side, which will sell information. So it's still going to be Alphabet and Google.
This lawsuit as well, if they have to break up, is going to be regional as well, because obviously Google have got over they're registered all around the world.
Yeah.
So do they just go and move somewhere else and sort of say, well, fair enough, everywhere the rest of the world we stay as we are, and we don't headquarter in the US anymore.
They could go elsewhere. And obviously, US would lose out on that. But yeah, it's. I think it's needed because some of these big companies, Microsoft, even now, they're starting to do this whole destroy. Where they did back in the 90s, where it was absorb and destroy. So I just think it needs to be done. It needs to be shown to Apple and Microsoft and all the other monopolies out there that you can't do this. But ultimately, it's going to be one company separated into different entities, different accounting packages, and all this. Where the one part of the company's got money, the other part's got. But let's face it, it's Google.
Yeah.
So YouTube will be paying Alphabet for something. Alphabet will be paying YouTube for information, and it's got to be done. But what's going to happen out of it? We'll suffer for it.
Yeah. What's going to happen to enterprise customers as well? Because we were sort of talking, the Google Workspace,
which is crap. It is rubbish.
It's out there, and a lot of small to medium companies and educational, especially in education, do use it. So what is that going to? Is that going to end up being separate?
Maybe the Workspace platform as a whole. Yeah. But maybe by doing that, you're going to have different entities, and it'll be split up, and it won't be this sort of, we're bringing out a service for free, or it might be a small charge, and go, do you know what? We've decided not to do that anymore and pull it. Because then, if you are Google Workspace, Google YouTube, and all this, and different entities, then hopefully the group doesn't have so much of a say, like, we don't want that service anymore and we'll keep that service. Who knows what's going to happen. I think it's a good thing. We've got to have this more often with bigger companies out there, Apple, Microsoft. They're not there for the people, certainly not. They're there to use you as a product and take as much information as they can.
Yeah, information sells at the end of the day.
It does, yeah. So it's a good thing. That's my ultimate view of it. How it's going to work. I feel for companies like Mozilla, because they will have funding removed, and they do rely on funding from people like Google. So because of obvious reasons, but do we start paying for browsers?
No, because somebody's always going to come along with a free browser out there, but then is going to become unsecure, but people are just going to start using free, but there's always going to be free browsers.
So what about if you took the old, so you download a game on your phone, it's free, you can play it as long as you want, but then you've got microtransactions, and then you got the remove ads. So what if Mozilla did similar sort of thing? You can download it, use it for free, but you'll get ads, or you agree to have your information anonymised and sold to third parties, for them to have revenue.
But that's what happens now.
Well, it does. but you get it for free. But if you pay, you get ads removed, anonymized data removed, and it's just your browser.
But then a lot of third parties aren't going to make money, are they, from...
No, they're not, but Mozilla then continues to make money.
But then Mozilla are then going to have to pay the third... Because where's the third party's going to get their money?
For people that, like a lot of people out there, when they download a game, they'd never pay for it. They just keep using it. So...
I don't know. Browsers are different.
They are.
90%...
But we used to pay for browsers.
Yeah, well, yeah, but 90% of internet traffic is browser-based.
It is. I think that maybe that's not the way to go forward. But I think if you're happy for someone to take your data and sell it, and you get something for free, continue to do that, because there's plenty of people out there. Meta and all the others will consume that data, and just create an API for it. So whatever you want to do, and then if you don't want that, you pay for it, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be like £50, $60, something like that, and it's yours for free forever. Whether or not you pay for major upgrades, I don't know. Maybe like a $10 or $15 upgrade for the major versions, and then you get your security updates for free. It's a thought, because there are companies out there now that are using browsers for everything. So you've got accounting, you've got everything in there. And all this information is anonymised. Now, to an extent, you don't know what to do with it. You don't know exactly how much information they're taking. So if you can get a secure browser, pay for it, remove all the anonymised data.
Don't Apple already do that, though, with Safari?
Do they?
That question's going out there, I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, if anyone's got any views on Safari, I know that we've seen adverts recently where they've got cameras viewing the phone, and then everyone's viewing your phone, seeing what you're doing, and then Apple goes, but it doesn't happen with us. We don't monitor anything you do. But how secure is that? How private is that, really? So what are they? Comments on the video. What is Safari doing over the other browsers that they don't consume your data?
And which browsers do you use, and why, really?
There's a few out there in there, I'm trying to remember the name of it now. There's one that is, again, another Chromium one. It's highly customizable, and I don't think they're supposed to track your data. Opera's, I know, is one that's supposed to not, but it's a bit iffy, in my view, and sort of comments I've seen. There are a few others, I can't remember the name of some random ones you get on Linux sometimes because it's secure and all that. So I don't know. There's plenty of them out there, and you can choose and pick one. But if they're ultimately free but don't consume your data, how good are they going to be compared to other browsers? I suppose if they're using the Chromium engine, it should be fairly compatible. Who knows? So it's a good thing, but we'll have to see how Google plays it. I mean, let's face it, they might go back to court and try to push it back. But there you go. Google is a monopoly, surprisingly. But so what we got next?
Well, this is going to be an hard one, because we've got down here, and this is why, this is why we shouldn't make lists to begin with. Any new retro tech being released? Well, released, or what have we bought?
Well, both, really. So you've got your Spectrum.
Yeah. And this is said because obviously in some of the other episodes, people knew I put in for the Kickstarter 2 for the Spectrum. I pledged, and it did arrive. The box, unfortunately, is in the loft, which is sacrilege to some people, I know. But it's here.
It's unboxed.
It's unboxed because I've used it. I've actually done an unboxing video, so we may show that at some point. But yeah, it's here finally at last. And,
it looks like a good piece of kit.
Yeah.
It's
solid.
It's solid. It doesn't feel. There's no creak to that whatsoever, from what I can feel. I'm not going to try to creak it because it's not mine. But it's hefty. It's got a good piece of weight to it. It doesn't feel like it's cheap at all. You've got a lot more than I expected at the back in terms of inputs, output, and everything. So it's really nice. It looks great.
Obviously, it was designed by the person that designed the original. Sadly is no longer with us, but this, so obviously this is his last design. And it's. I like it. I mean, obviously, it reminds me of my ZX Spectrum Plus from years ago, and it's obviously got that set. The only thing I wish it would have done is they light up.
Do they not light up?
No, they don't light up.
Do you know? I must admit, I'm looking at them thinking of the coloured LEDs.
Yeah.
But
okay, they don't light up. So I'm sure I'd like to know if anyone's actually modded, and got them to light up, or swapped them out. But this is. So I will talk about all the other kit I've got, but this is the only thing that. Basically, I got this in October last year. So the UK, everything started shipping at the end of October. So between November and December in the UK, everyone were getting the Spectrum Next. I think I got mine beginning of December. So it basically, for me, it went away for Christmas because this was the final thing. So obviously, with this dad passing away, I used obviously some of his money to get it. So to me, well, he bought us our first computer.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, he's bought my the final.
Yeah.
So I did it for that. So I put it away for Christmas, and we actually went to Scotland with my wife and family at Christmas. So I actually genuinely opened this up Christmas Day. And I've got to say that Christmas
nostalgic
because
feeling.
Christmas is Christmas as you get older. Okay, you got kids and it's there for them, but my kids have grown up and stuff. It's no fun for yourself anymore. You're opening your 10th bottle of deodorant or whatever you're opening up now. And
what do you get as Christmas presents? Just as a sideline, I'm just so interested in comments of you're in your 40s plus, I'd say. Midlife and above, what do you get for Christmas? What do you get somebody like that for Christmas?
Or do you bother anymore? Because there's the thing. So me and my wife, we sort of said, let's not get each other everything. But of course, we tried that one year, and because I didn't get it, it didn't work. So I got this. So I got this, opened it up, and straight away, I put it on, played it, and obviously the SD card comes with because obviously when you pledge. You get some games free digitally on the SD card. So I was playing this all over Christmas. So this genuinely is the new. It is new. So even though it's retro, but it's new.
As a kid, opening up your computer at Christmas, you've just got that same feeling with that. Because you kept it, you didn't open it until after Christmas.
No, and that's Day, so. and that's another 10,000 Spectrum Next users now. These rumours, and I've been looking out. Obviously, the people behind this have said they are considering a third one. So you need to. I would actually probably look at the third one because obviously this is KS2, which Kickstart 2. And it is different to the first one, so it's got a different ROM, slightly different chipset, FPGA chip in it, so it is more powerful.
Well, there's definitely some weight to this.
I think they've refined the case a bit. There were a couple of issues with the first revision. There's more memory, so it is better than in the first. So I think KS3, I think they'll probably would do a bit more to it. I don't think they'll take it further away because obviously it's backwards compatible with KS1 and they want to keep it the same unless they want to go for the next version or next phase, and that's sort of the release this because they thought, what would the Spectrum be next? I'm just wondering, do they then consider, well, what's next after this? Do they then look at something a bit more beefier? They did change the design, but still have it because it's FPGA. So do they have it backwards compatible still?
Yeah, you could do that, couldn't you? You could some of the games that are previously would work on that, still work on the new version, but the new version has better graphics, maybe, or I don't know, better sound or something.
I mean, there's a lot of games. I mean,
I mean, you've basically got a physical box, which there was nothing better than to walk into a store and seeing all the different games lined up. And you were taking them out, having a look at the back, looking at the front, trying to work out whether you spend your hard-earned cash, be it pocket money at the time or whether it was your first job. Yeah, and you were trying to work out. I mean, that's sometimes you looked at some games, didn't you? Were like, oh, this looks really good. You put it in, you'd sit there for 10 minutes loading it up, and like, this utter trash.
Rubbish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've chosen the best screenshots to put it on the back.
Or sometimes if you bought it for your Atari ST, they show the Amiga graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love this. This is fantastic. You've not even opened. Oh, you have opened it.
I've opened it, but it looks.
That looks like it's not been opened.
Yeah, it looks like it's not open because I was going to do a fake unboxing. But I mean, the one thing to say about this, games in the past, you remember, you look at the F-16, fighter game that you got for the Atari ST and the Amiga, where you got the the massive pilot's manual, you got the compass, you got the maps, you got another manual. So you just got absolutely loads of
your keyboard.
And this, no, not quite the same. I mean, and these, obviously, Moonmis Entertainment, a lot of the interactive play, a lot of from Germany, they've got a lot out in this series, and they're all packaged the same as well, that I'm aware of. But I thought, well, I'll get one. But, you get, okay.
You got advertising for some of the other games.
So that's so obviously that's the other games that they have. Like they've got absolutely...
Oh, wow. The new old stock games.
Yeah.
Commodore 64, VIC-20, Amiga, Atari 2600, 5200s, Intellivision. So yeah, you've got quite a lot there.
And then that's the next.
So your game is the Curse.
Yeah, so it's the Ghosts of Blackwood
Manor. So yeah, there's quite a few there. That's quite good.
Well, then obviously you get the instruction manual. I mean, the instruction manual, obviously they used to be much thicker than this, but you've got the.
It depends on the game.
Got the instruction manual. What's really great about this, though, it's. Loading the game version notes, Amstrad CPC, PCW, Atari 8-bit, Atari ST. So obviously that manual would come with any version.
And so you got a few pages in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have to do this, did you? You didn't have to put a manual in there. You could have put just like a little 1-2 page card.
Get the poster.
Put the effort in. A poster, which is what you used to get.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Poster, not quite key mapping, but that's
okay. So you got what keys?
What keys.
So is this a text adventure?
It's interactive. Interactive adventure. So it is like a graphic text adventure.
Just started the game and now you're staring at a text and blanking cursor. You don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know how.
And then. I mean, this isn't opened yet, so maybe this is for emergencies. Hint booklet open only if you are really stuck.
Oh, that's good. I like that because the games back in the day, you got stuck. That's it. Unless you found you might find something in the game magazine.
Although it depends what's in that. It might be, it might be just an empty booklet. But you get there's that. You get I don't know. You get a lovely.
I don't know if the camera can see that, but you've got like a hint sheet of what you can type in.
Like a card.
Postcard.
Yeah, postcard type thing.
I mean, that's actually quite thick. So they've spent a bit of cash putting all this together.
Stickers. But there's badges. In fact, there's... I'm going to get it out, actually, because I'm not quite sure what...
registration cards. I remember them. I never filled one of them.
Yeah, registration cards and... there's obviously a treasure bag, and in there's your SD card.
Is it?
Is in there.
Right.
And a badge and something else is in there. But it's not just in a big box because they want to put it in a big box. You do get.
Yeah, because you used to get like sort of later games where you get a big box, and then you'd open it up and you get a little jewel case with a CD and nothing else. So I like that. There's some effort in that.
Yeah, and they are. And they are a little bit more money than the traditional Spectrum Next games.
So the ones that cost?
I think after euros, about £25.
About 25 quid.
UK pounds, about €29.
25 quid, about $30 odd maybe.
Yeah.
And who's that from?
So this is Polyplay. So this is from Germany. So I don't know if they're based in Germany, the company, but it's very much, yeah. So it's Polyplay dot xyz.
That's a new one.
Yeah. I don't know if that's right or not.
So polyplay.xyz, check them out for retro games, but new games.
Yeah. So
that
that's
looks
good.
brilliant.
So that's but I've not played it yet. So that's exciting. So I actually saved this.
I mean, I'm thinking that we've got to do a review on that and capture it. You know,
Yeah.
It's got HDMI out on there, so I've got a capture card. We can capture that, and maybe if you want to see that, we can show you the sort of new games that are coming out for that particular device.
And yeah, well, we went to the Crash show, and from there I got an Amstrad CPC,
which I believe you haven't actually played it yet.
No, so this is CPC, but it's been modded with audio. So basically you can put tap files in there and record what you want. Really, I have switched it on. It does work, but I've done absolutely nothing with it.
But I can't say anything because I've ended up with I bought something from the same show. It was a Spectrum, and I've opened the box, I've looked at it, and not turned it on.
Yeah. But,
so I don't even know whether it works.
But again, that's what we should do, you know.
Yeah.
So each episode, I think, should be, because I look at these and I
that keyboard.
Okay, it's not. I mean, I'm going to get to the BBC because after you've touched the BBC keyboard,
I'm wrecking your display here.
Well,
oh,
yeah, you will not get any better.
No.
And in fact, I had some family member here, and she's only 6, and I heard this. What's that tapping? I come upstairs. She's tapping away at this. She goes, "I want one of these."
Oh, really?
Because it absolutely because she loved the feeling of tapping the keyboard.
I remember doing the teletext
Yeah.
application. So teletext was, for the people who don't even know what teletext is, it was a service you got over your television. It was transmitted, and it was text block style images. And I'm totally wrecking your display. By the time I'm finished today, everything will be off.
Everything will be on the floor. Yeah. Maybe it should be, because I don't use it.
And you used to be able to get news. It was like almost like an internet through your TV, but it was very basic. So we learnt to program, because you had to use certain codes to program it. And I remember typing on this keyboard, and it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the CPC. I got an Acorn Electron. It's very yellow. It costs £20. It does work.
Probably.
I do need a new power supply for it. However, we are going to do an episode where we need to retro bright this, make it white again.
Ah, yeah. I mean,
you've got one as well. Is yours as yellow as this?
It is as yellow as this. It's pretty yellow, to be fair.
But again, the key, it's
just. I mean, it's not the best keyboard for the time, but it's still quality. It's got that springiness to it. Even my mechanical keyboard at home, I think it's about £100. It sounds nice and it goes down nice, but it's nothing like these. Yeah. They've just lost it, and I know you could probably spend £200 and maybe get close to this. There's a company we might actually talk about them, that have come out with retro keyboards. Yeah. But I'm not sure how good they are. Maybe.
I mean, you could almost. I have actually seen. I think he's another YouTuber. Actually, I've seen him actually. I don't think it was an Electron. It was another where he'd taken out the inside, put another board in. It's basically turned into a USB keyboard. I don't think it was working, so it's probably a good thing for it. So I got that, and the only other thing, I already had the Commodore 64, but I'm going to talk about that anyway, because we did talk about that on the other. But I got the VIC-20, so it's not a VIC-20.
Yeah, so this isn't actually a real VIC-20. It's a clone.
Yeah, so this is. Yeah, I shouldn't have, but so basically the C64 that were brought out by Retro Games Limited, I think 2017-18. I think they brought out the mini version, then the Maxi, and they brought out a limited edition VIC-20. I think over COVID, I think they brought that out, and it very much. when they do these things, they go limited edition, and then 5 years later they're still selling and thinking, well, how limited are they? You know, a lot of them. But this is you can't buy it. So I will look at it was very late one night on eBay.
Yeah, late nights at eBay when the wife's not around to stop you from paying for something. I mean, it looks good. It's not
the same, is it?
It's not the same.
Now I don't know if the Commodore 64 or VIC-20 was that. It could have been.
I think it was probably
they certainly
slightly.
weren't. It's certainly never as good as
the
Acorn.
I think the keyboard's slightly,
but it is heavy,
lower. But it's got some.
Bearing in mind when you open it up, it's just basically a Raspberry Pi. Well, it's not Raspberry Pi, but it's the same.
It's a similar style and footprint. You've got USBs, what looks like a power button, HDMI, and you've got probably power there, and another USB. So it's quite a lot of ports on that. So it's a decent device.
And I did think about getting the VIC-20 because for everyone out there, when we talked about the last computer, my dad got me, obviously the next. This was ours. We had to share it. It's back in the day. So in 1983, we sent our dad to Dixon's, which was a massive retailer in the UK.
But didn't we tell them to get different?
We told him to get a
Texas Instruments.
Either a Texas Instruments or a ZX Spectrum. I
think it was a Texas Instruments.
Now, they obviously saw him coming, needed to sell the VIC-20s off because the Commodore 64 was out there. They obviously didn't have any Texas Instruments because I think they were fairly scarce. And they came back with this.
It was a good starter PC. Well, computer.
Yeah. You got a lot with it. I remember you got the introduction to BASIC.
Yeah, you did.
And all the all the.
You always got a good set of manuals in these old PCs.
So with this, computers. It says the VIC-20 because obviously it's not licensed. However, there is a guy in. So I shall show you exactly the same from Retro Games Limited. Hang on. So what I will show you is. They've also mirrored the joystick, which I quite like that colour.
It's got nice micro switch. That's nice, that. Yeah, that's nice.
It's light, it's a bit light, but it is nice.
It's not bad. It's not a bad base. I mean, you can certainly. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to drop it, but you could certainly put that on the desk, and maybe you'd have to hold it there like you did with some of them anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's just a straight USB, so I assume you can just plug that into
anything. You do, so you control, exactly. So, I mean, obviously the menu, the way the UI is, you have to click up and down. And for me, it gets a bit tedious. I want a mouse. For me, it's like, can I not plug a mouse in or do something else? It's like, why do I have to? And you soon get, your brain sort of forgets that's what you did. But so Retro Games Limited. So obviously this is the Commodore 64, which came out of it, and you can still buy this.
I think while he's getting it out, I think if you want to see reviews of this hardware,
let us know which would you like to see first. So what I've done, if you've noticed, so on that it says the VIC-20. This said the 64, but obviously there's a guy in Romania who make the original Commodore brand. So I basically put so it comes with so it's now Commodore 64 and power. So it just makes it look more authentic.
And it's a similar sort of footprint, but weight-wise,
I think
this feels a bit. Almost feels a little bit heavier. This one, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
similar keyboard.
I think they are. I think they're pretty much the same. Very much the same. And even inside, I think there's more VIC-20 games in this, but it is all in purpose is exactly the same machine.
So if you want to see some of this hardware working and sort of get a review of what the keyboards are like, and we'll get perhaps a sort of more modern day keyboard and compare the two so you can get a feel for it. But if you want to see this sort of thing, we're more than happy to start reviewing these.
But you can still buy these. But also Retro Games Limited, since we've not been on air, now do the Amiga 500 Mini.
But if we do 1200, I'll be happy.
Well, even the 500 full size. Can you imagine a full size maxi version of the 500? I'd probably get one.
I have such a thing in my heart for the.
I don't get the minis. I wouldn't.
No.
Because obviously the C64 mini is about that big, and the keyboard doesn't work. So it's like, I'm not.
You want to be able to have it at full size.
You want a tactile. You want to be able to use that.
It's small enough as it is.
Yeah.
If you think about some of the gaming PCs with the towers these days, and then you've got your keyboard and you've got your display and everything else.
Yeah. And I also do believe they brought an Atari 400 version out. But again, the Mini.
Yeah, I think.
So that's what I've bought. I mean, the only other thing I've obviously you've seen me buy BBC Micro, and then obviously bought the Master. And I think the very last episode we did talk about that. So the person who I bought this from. This actually came from a lab, so it's very very much used in the late 80s, early 90s, and there's still some of the ROM chips on there have got some of the physics software, and he has actually said that we could interview him and sort of talk about how the BBC Masters were.
This is what I want to be doing. I want to be doing more interviews. People have asked on one of the videos if we can do some interviews. We need the. I mean, on a more serious note, we need the subscribers. We need the viewers. There's plenty of retro sort of channels out there, but we're not just about the retro. We are retro. We love our retro, and we'll show this because we love that sort of thing. But new tech we'll talk about as well. And if we want to see the format change, if you want to see something different, then fine. We're both IT professionals at the end of the day, so we do love that tech.
I suppose the next thing on the list that they talk about is why we don't. What do we do with it? I mean, mine's displayed. A lot of mine were in a cupboard, gathering dust. Probably the display that I did have in the old room, I had a couple of things out, but it's like, it's great having it on display, but now what? So what I want to try and do next is probably get a bit of a workbench, a space where it's all set up with a cable. So come in and pick up that,
hot swap.
Pick up the Master, plug it in, and it'll work. I mean, I've got issues with the BBC Model B where it doesn't quite sync with HDMI, even with a converter. I believe there's a fix with replacing some of the crystals, although there may be people out there. And again, leave a comment if there's another way of doing it. If it needs a different HDMI converter, RGB to HDMI converter. But yeah, that works. That syncs. But again, I just want somewhere where I can just pick it up, plug it in, because.
And is this for everybody? I mean, I personally have my equipment's in the loft, and I have to go up a ladder, so I have to carry all the equipment up. And it's chaos up there at a minute. I mean, it's nothing like this setup. And I bought a few things. I bought the Spectrum. I bought the Apple Mac, which I even went down to Wales to pick up.
Yeah, that's the last Power PC, Apple Mac as well. So that'd be good to review.
It definitely, yeah. I mean, I actually got it going recently, and it works, and it's working fine. It's so heavy. I mean, if I dropped that in the loft, it'd go straight through 3 floors, I'm sure, without even breaking. So I had that, and I've got some random sort of really old consoles, and then like the paddle games where it's just pre-programmed with a few paddle games, and they're just like tennis or football or anything else. I have actually, interestingly, and that might be something that we can probably talk about when we start pulling the hardware out individually. I got the same issue over HDMI, where it won't sync properly. Yeah. So
I think it's later on. It's something to do with the crystals, display crystals. That's on the motherboard. But and this is another thing. Before, I mean, you can see I've moved house since last time we did this. I bought the crystal chips and everything to do that. Bought the soldering iron. Can I find any of it? No. In fact, can I find some of the stuff that I got for the Amstrad CPC, like the tape deck for the tap files and that?
We've both got lots of technology lying around. We've bought things from the shows. I've bought an SD card reader for my Amiga 1200 Tower. Have I installed it? No. But these are things that maybe we can talk about, and again, get your feedback. If you want to see this sort of thing, if we're buying hardware and we go out there and we record going to these shows, do you want us to show you how we installed them? And how badly we install
Is
them.
it just about convenience why we don't, or is it sometimes? Yeah, life gets in the way.
I think
Convenience as well.
I think it is convenience. You got to take this out. You got to take all the cables. You got to find all the cables. Then you got to plug it into a display. Now, I suppose some people want to be a bit of a purist and have a CRT and stuff like this. But
well, I did debate rather than having a workbench all the way across here and just having them out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get them all out, obviously, but then I could have a couple of displays and that. Maybe, but yeah, it wasn't practical though. It just took up too much space.
Even was it the Raspberry Pi 400?
Again, that's in the cupboard there.
And we haven't used it. What we should do is we should actually, when we collab on the, maybe just developing a little basic game. We're not going to go too far with it. And just try a few of the old 8-bit, 16-bit sort of game engines. Just like maybe a text adventure. We'll just choose one game to program on all of them. Maybe we'll try the 400.
Yeah, and off camera, the Legends Ultimate Arcade.
We've got that to, we've definitely got that one.
It's modded with Coin Up X, and we did talk about that, but again, we want to review it and show it. There's a lot of people that have already done that, but we just want to give our honest review. Certainly on,
and we will be honest. None of this tech is given to us. So if there's something you want to see, generally it is our money that we're spending on. So if you want to see something, we'll give you our honest opinion, and we are brutally honest, being Yorkshiremen that we are.
Yeah, well, unless it don't cost money.
Money comes into it.
So the last thing really on the list is BBC Computer Found is now in a museum. So it got on BBC News. This is very recent. Now we did chat about this on the way coming back here, and there seems to be a lot of BBCs now that are either being thrown recently or sold. Somebody sold them in bulk cheaply now, and I don't know if this is certain schools or certain people that are, they're getting rid of the stock or something's happening. But there seems to be a lot, and it seems to be BBC Micros. Obviously, this were found in a tip, rescue from a Derbyshire tip, so somebody's just thrown this out.
There's probably a lot of people out there now that seen these things when they move house and they're going in the loft and seeing it, not even thinking for 1 minute they might be worth some money. I mean, something like that probably is worth money, especially if it works. And they're just chucking it because they just don't want it in the house. And they said that actually the BBC microcomputer was priced at $399 when released, and the equivalent around about $1,900 today.
Yeah.
What would you spend on it? About the same, 399 quid, 300 quid if it was a good one. Maybe a little bit less.
What it doesn't go into, and maybe Matthew Bostock is. I think we probably won't mind mentioning his name because he's out there. It's donated to the National Video Game Museum, so probably want to go and visit.
I think so.
What I'd like to know is, obviously he's got it in a display. That's what I wanted, a glass display. He's got it in a glass display. I'm sure you'll show a picture.
Yeah, we'll show these.
We've already got it working or it's just. The condition doesn't look. It looks yellowish.
It doesn't look too bad, to be fair. I've seen a lot worse on eBay for more than
you can see where it's come from a school, and they've had like a display sticker card on it there, where it's still white. It's the original colour. But it doesn't say whether it works or not. Although there's another picture there. The computer is now being used by visitors, so it does work.
That's it must work.
So I'd like to know, was it work when it was thrown in the tip? Did it
fix it? Yeah. So if you know any more information on this one, but it's great. That could have been going into landfill and never been seen again. And I'm sure landfill's full of these things.
But it's been bare. But there's been a few recently, and I've been trawling through some of the because I'm a member of some of the groups on social media, and there's a few where going now. I've come across somebody selling BBC Micros in bulk really cheap. And I'm just thinking, what is it about the BBC Micro?
And maybe it's just I don't know. I'm not too sure why there's a sort of a surge or something like this. But is it something that you should be looking out for? If you go to your local tip, if someone's chucking something in the electric. Once it goes in the skip, it's a lot harder to get it back out.
Yeah, I think you have
Because
to
it
work
comes-
hard
it's
to
a
get
property thing.
getting the Derbyshire Council
Yeah.
to get it out from. But
So, but you know, you might find that sometimes there are little parts in the sort of tip where they walk into a place and they put electronics equipment in there. So keep a lookout because you know, if you can have a word and get the proper authorization, don't just take the word for the local guys.
As a couple of things that I were thinking of this. Yeah, who threw it out? Where did it come from? And was it part of
Do you know
other
what?
stuff? So
It could have been. It
or
could
is
have
it
been
just a
that,
sole
like you say,
collector?
it could have been sat in a school in a cupboard that's been sat there for years and years and years.
Somebody's loft.
Yeah, more likely someone's loft.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I mean, there's people now that are buying houses won't have a clue what this is.
No.
They'll just see it as an old, battered computer, just chuck it.
Yeah.
But anybody who sees old computers in the loft or find anything like that, don't just throw it. You know, do a bit of research, go on eBay, just try to find out what it is. Maybe sell it so it can be recycled to somebody who's going to love it, or just hand it into
Donate it to a museum.
and we can go and show the new devices in the museum.
Well, anymore, we'll be opening our own museum.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, probably a short one today, but we're just starting again. And please, again, give us some feedback, like and subscribe. Tell us what you want to see, tell us what you don't like, what you do like. But from me, I'm Dave.
And I'm Andy.
See you soon.
Goodbye.